Alright guys, so this is the first in a series of videos I'm going to make that kind of shows how I have set up Middle-earth strategy battle game within Roll20. So the first thing I just want to briefly go over is if you go to the journal tab over here, this should be open to everybody that's in the game right here. Well, not the, if I'll help pick the journal tab. So I'm going to disregard these first two for right now. That may be something we do at a later time or advanced section. But what I'm getting at here is basically I've got almost everything you need inside here. So for example, I've got teams. We'll talk about this more, but I'll set up each one of you guys as you join the game. You guys will basically be responsible for a team. This is mainly for you to roll initiative or what they call priority in Middle-earth strategy battle game. I've also got all the rules in here. When you go into the game, I'd advise you to read this one first and Brian's notes, and then read me first and kind of work your way through it. But I'll cover most of this in this series as well. So you don't have to read through them. You can listen to me talk if that's easier for you. There's going to be some special rules we cover, some more advanced rules. There are certain tests that are done within Middle of the Strategy game. There are army lists. Again, I'll go over all this in these series of videos here, but this is basically what you guys fight with. I, as the forever DM, will get to play this because there is no scenario. It's basically a battle game, but this kind of shows you the different list of armies that are available as of right now. I don't have everything in here. I'm going to start off small, make sure myself and the rest of you guys all enjoy playing this. And as we discover we like it, I'll add more of the armies in here. So I'll do that later time. This is where all the actual individual little characters will be, the people you could play with. There's both bad guys and good guys in here based on their faction. I got Gundabad, the Free People, Thorn's Company, and Cause of Doom. So lots of the dwarves and stuff you can play as in here, but we'll cover that in a later video. There's also a little drop down here for some of the basic armor and equipment that is in here. I won't go in detail here, but that information is there for you to look at, and a quick little thing on the token bars as we get started in here. All right, so the first thing I want to cover is, I guess, what we call I've gotten here is Brian's notes. All right, so bear with me, a little bit of read text here. So Middle-earth strategy game, again, I'll refer to it as MESBG in the text spot, so I don't have to type all that out. It's a game I've been contemplating running on Roll20 for a while now. I've always kind of loved the world of Middle-earth and all the Lord of the Ring and Hobbit movies. They do make a 5e compatible Lord of the Rings game, but I want to try something different because Middle-earth strategy battle game is basically a fighting or a war game. So, and it also looks like something that requires a little bit less prep work for me, and I could actually play with you guys, against you guys, in upcoming sessions here. All right, so just a high-level overview. So in this game, you battle with armies, not just individual characters like we've been doing in D&D. You still control the models. Oh, sorry, when I say models, models in Middle-earth strategy battle game will be the equivalent of a token in Roll20. And like I said, I've created tokens for all that, but you'll hear me say, and you'll see in the rules, they use the word models a lot because this is a miniature game. We're not playing with miniatures, we're playing with tokens. So models and tokens will be interchangeable throughout my little commentary here. So again, you still control the models individually, but this game requires a bit more strategy among your models. Death is a real possibility, but a two-hit success does not always mean you're going to take damage. They call damage here wounds, but we'll cover that here a little bit later. This game was designed for really 2 players, but it can accommodate more players by splitting up the army or what they call warband. Middle-earth strategy battle game runs on D6s primarily. There's a few instances where there's a D3 and maybe a D12, but it's D6s for like 98% of the game. Let's see here. This game does not have a pre-built model character sheet in Roll20. So I was actually kind of shocked by this, but I guess I shouldn't be shocked. It's about, uh, I forget the name of the company, Free Game Workshop, I think you own it. Imagine if they did that, they wouldn't be able to sell as many miniatures. But anyway, I can only assume this is some kind of a licensing limitation. However, I have found an alternate character sheet that closely resembles what we need. We'll go over the sheet during another video session, but everything you need to roll for will be handled through token actions. I've already got them all set up for all the models in the game. So there won't be very few times that you actually have to open up the character sheet. Everything should be handled through a token action. Just real quick, if you guys aren't sure what I mean by token actions, everyone should be here. So let's just pull over Gandalf. So when I pull over Gandalf, you see as I click on him, there's all these buttons up here. This should be everything you need to run your character, your armies. Let's say you had some good guys on your team as well. So let's go grab just a few uh, dwarfs, drop them in here. The same thing with each one of these. So these token actions are not the same. Some of them are. Some of them are specific to that character and what they can or can't do there. But everything you need to do is right here for you to roll on. Okay? Okay, where was I? The rules use inches for measuring distances. For our purposes, 1 inch is going to equal 1 square. I probably will not run a grid in any of our maps because there's a thing called base contact in the game. It's where basically once they're engaged, they're in base contact. It means the tokens are like touching as opposed to being like 1 inch away. They're not in base contact. But as you can see in Roll20, as I move this, you can see it shows you well, my little bars are blocking the distance, but you can see the squares. So 1 square is 1 inch. So as you move it, you can really see how far you can move or are moving. Okay. Okay. So in Middle Earth strategy battle game, there are 9 characteristics. Let's see, where do I have the characteristics? I can pull this up here and show you real quick. Matter of fact, you know what? We'll do that in another video. I'm just going to go over the high level here. There's 9 characteristics that are static, unless like a special rule can alter in some way. The only characteristic that will fluctuate during gameplay is what they call wounds. And as you look at this token right here, I've got 4 bubbles on all your tokens. The yellow one here will be your wounds. That's basically your HP in D&D terms. These other 3 are going to be specific to only heroes. There are some tokens or characters in Middle Earth that are heroes and some that are basically not. They're like warriors. Let's see if I can go find one here real quick. It's just a plain old warrior here. Probably this guy. Yeah, so as I pull this guy over, you'll see he still has the 4 buttons or 4 bubbles. But only this one is popular because he doesn't have these features in the game. Only heroes do. So as you can see, he has 1 wound. That means if he gets hit once and takes a wound, he's basically dead. So a lot different in D&D where you got a big pile of hit points waiting for someone to die. So again, death is a real possibility. Just for reference, you'll see the heroes have 3. There are ways that they can mitigate or avoid wounds, but we'll talk about that in another video. Okay. Let's see, heroic actions and special rules. So every hero will have at least 3 heroic actions, they call them. That's basically like a feat or a special ability they can do. Most will be listed in their profile or their character sheet. But all heroes possess a universal hero action list, which consists of heroic combat, heroic move, heroic shoot. All heroes. And anyone that has basically 4 dots will have those. And again, we'll cover those in another video. There are also special rules for some profiles. These will typically enhance some roll or grant a re-roll within the game. Some special rules will be listed in their profiles. I kind of keep using that word because it's a Middle-earth term. Character sheets. Special rule will be listed in their character sheets and also as a token action. If I just click on this one, you'll see there is a button here for special rules, but we'll cover that in another video. So think of heroic actions and special rules. They're kind of like class abilities or feats from a D&D 5e perspective. Damage and health. So unlike D&D, there's no damage die to roll. Basically, any successful hit will deal 1 wound. And as I already showed you, some profiles can only take 1 wound before they die. Most heroes are around 3 or 2 wounds each, but there are some truly monstrous foes like dragons and trolls and maybe some other large ones I haven't found yet that will have more. One of the things you can use to negate them is fate points. And we'll cover that in another video, but fate points can be used to negate anytime you actually do take a wound. So if someone rolls to hit you and it causes a wound, you can burn a fate point to basically negate that, so it keeps you alive. Hero death. We'll cover that another video. But hero death, typically in Middle Earth strategy game, once they hit 0, they're dead. But there is a couple custom homebrew rules I've seen where it's death is not always a given when you drop to 0. There is another way to get out of that, but we'll cover that in another video. Magic. Magic is very limited in Middle Earth strategy battle game. By limited, I mean that very few profiles will have access to magical powers. I'm showing you Gandalf here. Other than him, right off the top of my head, him and like Radagast and like Sauron and uh, Saruman, there are going to be very, very few people that can actually do magic. So that's you can't do it, but it's possible. We'll cover magic and how that works in a different video. Point values. Point values is something they do with Middle Earth strategy game. I don't have them marked on here, but when you go into the army list, they do what's called match play when they play these games in real life. So basically, each of you is responsible for an army of, say, 200 points. So you can basically build your armor however you want based on those points. The higher level of the hero, the more points it is. Whereas like a lowly little grunt warrior is going to be like maybe 1 to 6 points, where someone like Gandalf the White could be 200 points. So depending on what kind of battles we do, you pick and choose how big of a, I guess, a war band you want to put together. The two sides of the battle will always have the same point limits. If we do more than 2 players, it's basically 2 teams. It's good versus evil. So, but both of those will have the same number of points. You don't have to end up exactly at those points, but just can't go over. Okay, advancement and or leveling up. So again, in Middle Earth, there's not any kind of leveling up. However, I have researched a few homebrewed options where a basic warrior could be elevated to a hero status if he or she accomplishes a certain task in battle. I've gone through a few of them. I may cover that in a later video, but it looks something promising if we're going to do something like with, you can tie this into like a campaign. I've seen a few online videos of real life games with miniatures where they basically redo the entire story of The Hobbit and redo the entire story of Lord of the Rings and let the dice, or in our case, the rolls, decide the fate. So it might not be Frodo that takes the ring back to Mordor. It could be Samwise Gamgee or somebody else that rises up to hero status. Okay, campaign or one shot. So both can be played here, but each encounter designed to be some kind of a combat. That's the whole premise of this. There's something called scenarios that kind of set up these battles. They allow for a variety of ways to win rather than just kill your foe. It could be something like secure the supplies, or sneak away, or rescue somebody, or assassinate a certain person, or, it's not always about killing your opponent. It could be just surviving until reinforcements show up. So there's lots of different scenarios they put in place So it's not just me beating the crap out of somebody or killing somebody or dying. My plan is to do one-shots for now until we get a good feel for the game. If or when we want more, then we can run events, like I said, like we can walk through The Hobbit, we can walk through Lord of the Rings. Maybe we'll do something with War of the Rings, the new series that's out on HBO. Let's see here. Who do you play as? So, and this game is not designed to tie a specific hero to you, the player. It's designed to allow you to control or run a variety of heroes, which means giving everyone the chance to run Gandalf or Legolas. So with that being said, as we start to play, I don't necessarily want you guys to get hung on the fact that you're always going to be the one that plays Gandalf, or you're always the one that's going to play Thorin, or you're always the one that's going to play uh, Azog, the Defiler. I want to give you guys opportunity all to kind of play them. I guess me as well. If we get into the games and you guys are okay with someone just kind of taking control, I'm fine with that. But I don't want you to have the expectations that once you pick somebody, that's yours forever. Want this to be an open game so anyone can play them. Okay, so what is my role as the quote-unquote DM? In this game, I can actually play. This was a big part of my initial draw to the game. I'll still create maps. I'll still create new models, aka character sheets, as we play more. But there's not really a secret answer or overall plot behind the scenes. I won't know how the scenario sessions will go or end. It's kind of up to us or you guys to kind of write that history if we do this in a campaign form. In cases where we have a disagreement about the interpretation of the rules or whatever that requires some kind of a DM ruling, we'll probably just vote on it. But I'll say that the two players who created this agreement will abstain from voting. Just let everyone else vote on it. If it is a tie still after voting, then we'll do a roll off to decide. And if that doesn't work, then I'll just make a call. I don't want to, I'm not the DM, but want us to all agree as to how we interpret the rules. What's next? So I ask you guys to kind of go through the journal, read through, again, starting with Brian's notes, then kind of working through all the rules. Really, the read me first is probably all you need to go. Everything else should be kind of self-explanatory, and or I'll do a series of videos kind of going those in more detail. Ask you guys to hop into the game, play around with these tokens. Again, you guys all have access to these guys. When I say access, you can actually go in and you can modify these character sheets if you want to. Please, I'm not begging you. I am telling you, do not modify the character sheets. Everything is done through token actions, but you can't go in there and see maybe a little bit of history, how the character sheets are laid out, all that stuff. Get familiar with it. I just want you guys getting used to really these token actions and how they move and interact with all this stuff. Ask questions. I will schedule a session 0 before we play any games to make sure we get a chance to play around with them as a group and work through any bugs that way. All right, so that's it for this video. It's long enough. I'll do a series of more videos going to each one of these things in a little more detail. See you guys in the next video.